Welcome everyone to our Wednesday morning gentle and restorative class. So you will need some props, a couple of pillows, a blanket, and if your blanket, or if you've got a towel that you can roll up into a kind of sausage shape, that would be great as well. And then we'll come to sit. So you might sit on a blanket or a cushion, or simply on the ground, and have a little move around. So you can begin to find that central point, maybe roll through the shoulders a couple of times. And then let the hands rest down onto the legs, maybe palms up or down, whichever feels right. And then just begin to settle. And then take some longer, deeper breaths. Feel that the heart lifts just a little. And as you exhale, just gently draw in through the belly. Soften into the earth. And doing that a couple of times. Just allowing yourself to arrive in this space. Maybe it's been a bit of a rush to get here. So just let yourself begin to settle. And let your breath return to a natural rhythm where it can just take care of itself, really. Just come and go. Nothing you need to do. So this week we're exploring appreciation in place of expectations. And it's said that appreciation is the fuel for happiness. It helps us to see all the wonderful things that are around us, all the beauty, all the miracles of life that are really available to us in any moment. And expectations of ourselves, or maybe people in our lives or experiences, is often what prevents us from seeing all of that wonder. So class just focusing around appreciation, inviting in that sense of gratitude, letting go of expectations, and kind of physically maybe a little bit into shoulders, upper chest area, upper back. Hopefully a nice releasing class. So we'll have a little bit of movement and then move into some stiller posture. So as you inhale, reach the hands out to the side and all the way up to the top. And as you exhale, bring the hands down into the heart space. And as you do that, draw the belly in a little. So as you inhale, reaching the hands out to the side, all the way up to the top. You might gaze to the thumbs, depending on how the back of the neck feels. And then as you exhale, soften down, just feeling that you can take your time and move with the breath. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. And then the next time that you inhale up to the top, interlace the fingers, press the palms away, and then draw the belly in and feel that you could kind of sink back down into the earth. There might be quite a bend into the elbows, so just press through the palms as much as feels right for your shoulders and arms. Might feel quite strong. So take an inhale there, and as you exhale, have a little fold over to the right side, keeping that left hip grounding. And as you inhale, come back to the center and exhale over to the other side. So just little side stretches, breathing into the side body. Inhale to the top, and then as you exhale, bring the hands into cactus arms, so elbows in line with the shoulders. Draw the shoulder blades back towards one another, so you're opening up through the upper chest area, but at the same time draw the belly in a little. Take another inhale there, and then as you exhale, release the hands behind. Interlace the fingers, draw the shoulder blades together a little, and just opening up through the shoulders. And then as you inhale, release the hands back up to the top. Interlace the fingers, but have the palms facing down this time. Take an inhale, draw the belly in, and then begin to round through the back, bringing the hands forward and the chin towards the chest. So like a rounding through the back of the body, opening through the shoulders. Reach the hands forward, and the hands might kind of come to roughly shoulder height but you're kind of breathing into the back of the body. And then take an inhale, reach the hands back up to the top. And exhale, release the hands out to the side and down to the hips. Swap over the legs, so have the opposite ankle out the front. Either way that feels a little bit strange. And then as you inhale, reach the hands all the way up to the top. Exhaling to bring the hands into the heart space. And just pausing there. Hands at the heart. Just gazing inwards towards that heart space. And just maybe feeling, seeing, noticing who is there or what is there in your heart. Maybe it's people or pets or things in your life, experiences that you just feel a little bit glad about. What appreciation lives there at the heart? Just noticing what comes up. And then as you inhale, reach the hands all the way out to the side, back up to the top. Interlace the fingers, press the palms away, draw the belly in a little as you exhale. Take another inhale, and as you exhale, fold over to the left side. Little stretch through the side body, and then inhale to the top. And exhaling over to the other side. Inhale to the top, and as you exhale, that cactus arm, so elbows in line with the shoulders, and you can kind of draw the elbows back, almost as if the shoulder blades were going to touch, but keep the belly drawn in, so stay nice and secure into the lower back. Take another inhale there, and as you exhale, release the hands behind, and interlace the fingers with the opposite little finger outside. It'll be the way that feels a bit strange. So as you inhale, draw the shoulder blades towards one another. And as you exhale, draw the belly in and connecting maybe just slightly through the pelvic floor as well. And then as you inhale, reach the hands back up to the top. Re-interlace the fingers, palms facing down this time. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, rounding through the back, hands come forward, chin towards the chest. And really just reaching the hands forward as much as feels right for the shoulders. You might even imagine someone kind of pulling gently on the wrists, drawing away. And then as you inhale, come back up to the top. And as you exhale, release the hands out to the side. And just pause there. So just feeling into shoulders, arms, upper chest area. And then we're going to take our sausage-shaped blankets. We're going to bring it underneath the shoulder blades. So if you find that it's a little bit too big, just unroll it a little bit so you can have less of a roll. So that's going to go underneath the shoulder blades and then the shoulders over the top. You'll kind of know, you'll just feel that it's right. It's probably about where bra strap area is, below the shoulder blades. And then the head comes over the top, shoulders come over. I like to come into cactus arms, so elbows in line with the shoulders, because that helps me to feel grounded. But that might be too much for your shoulders or neck. So you might have hands on belly or out to the side, or hands out to shoulder height. That might feel better. So feeling, and with the legs, you might just have the feet a little bit wider than the hips, the knees gently touching. Or equally, you could try soles of the feet together, knees wide. But be aware of what's happening in the back of the body. So it can be quite intense. So lessen it if you need to. And then just take some longer, deeper breaths. Just feeling as if you're breathing into the heart space. It's almost like you're softening around the heart. So as we move through our kind of busy modern life, we can kind of have a lot of expectations. So we can expect, this is one of the things I was thinking of yesterday, we can expect hot water just to come magically from our taps. And we expect our fridge to keep everything cool and fresh. We expect our legs to take us where we want to go. We expect our cars to start. Maybe our phones to have Wi-Fi and power. We expect to almost have immediate access to pretty much anything. And then for many of us, we can add a sense of stress and overwhelm to our expectations. And then that reptilian part of our brain starts to kick in, adding a certain kind of level of fear and anxiety to our expectations. So we might start expecting our friends to disappoint us, or our partner to be late, the kids to be ungrateful, colleagues to be difficult. And remembering that, like, where our attention goes, our energy flows. So our expectations can lead us down that path of kind of disappointment. And these are all thoughts and beliefs. It's generally not reality. These are stories that are going on in our minds that maybe we're not even aware of. Consider for a moment expectations that you might have that are kind of habitual there in the back of the mind. And then take another couple of deep, long breaths. So again, breathing into the heart. And then when you're ready to move out, you might roll over to one side, you might roll back up, just whatever makes sense. Moving your blanket out of the way and coming into tabletop, but take your time to get there. There's no major rush. And then hips are over, knees, shoulders are over, wrists, fingertips are spread, and maybe you can kind of feel that imprint where you were resting on your blanket. See if you can stay kind of open through that. So as you inhale, allow the belly to drop, gaze upwards. And then as you exhale, round through the spine, really press into the hands, maybe feel that broadening across the shoulders just a little bit more. And then inhaling, rounding, moving through your cat-cow with your breath. Taking your time, just seeing how things feel, how you are today. And then you might do some circles through the hips if that feels good, or continue with your cat-cow if that actually feels better for you. And then you could circle the other way. And then sitting back towards your child's pose, keep the hands reaching forward. Maybe the elbows are off the mat, but just a little bit of a kind of an inhale to stretch forward through the hands and the shoulders. Forehead maybe moving towards the earth. And then as you inhale, come back to your tabletop. Press the left hand into the mat. Take an inhale and bring the right hand up. So opening up through the shoulder, through the chest. And as you exhale, bring the hand underneath the left arm. And then as you inhale, come back up. So you could do that a few times. Exhaling. Inhale to the top. And then exhale. And then this time, settle the shoulder and the side of the head down. And if you need a pillow or a folded blanket for the head, if you feel like there's a lot of pressure into the head, then do make that comfortable. And that left hand could stay as it is, or it could come over the back if that feels good. Opening up through that shoulder. And have a little bit of a settling into that. Or just keep that left hand where it is if it doesn't make sense. So there's a little bit of pressure into that shoulder and like a squeeze into the top of the arm. See if you can settle there. So we're here, and if you're not sure, just settling here. We could consider what would our lives look and feel like if we were able to move away from expectations and towards that sense of appreciation and thankfulness in every given moment. Because there is so much good, even though there might be a lot of difficulties and stress and overwhelm, and there is so much good um, around us. So consider just maybe a few moments each day we could maybe put our feet firmly on the ground and feel grateful for the gravity, for the sense of that holding, the support of the earth that is always there. And maybe what if we felt stressed? We could simply enjoy a few deep breaths and feel grateful for the kind of intelligence of our bodies to bring us back to the present, to soothe us. Or maybe when there was a sunny day, we had that sense of just, oh, sunny day. And in that way, we are rewiring the brain, rewiring it for positivity. So remember, the brain is more likely to settle on negative things. So it needs to be remembered. These things need to be remembered so that it becomes a habit to notice the positivity. So take another deep breath here. And as you exhale, bring that left hand back down onto the mat. If it's not there, come back to your tabletop. And there you might just sit back into child's pose for a few breaths. You might even release the hands beside the body if the wrists or the shoulders are feeling it today. Or you could do a few rounds of cat-cow or circling through the hips, or even a down dog, maybe a soft down dog if you're feeling that would be quite nice as well. So feel into that. And then when you're ready, inhale to come to tabletop. If you're not there already, press that right hand into the mat. Inhale to lift the left, opening up through the shoulder, exhaling, releasing underneath. You're welcome to just settle straight down if that feels like the right place to go. Otherwise, you could inhale a couple more times, lifting and lengthening. Exhaling underneath. Inhale. And then exhale, and then settling that shoulder, side of the head down, and feeling into where you would like to have that right arm. Lovely. So Tony Robbins says, happiness is found in the absence of expectation and a continuous focus on appreciation. So the really important part there is the continuous focus on appreciation. So gratitude is a practice, something that we need to come back to outweigh the negativity bias. And it doesn't have to be onerous either, it doesn't have to be something that we think, oh, another thing I have to tick off my list. If journaling works for you, then great. There's a lot of research that shows that people who journal and write down what they're grateful for has a huge impact on well-being. But it doesn't have to be that. You can do so many other things, like maybe having a gratitude jar. You could get the whole family involved. Maybe every day, every few days, just writing something down that you feel grateful for and popping it in the jar. And then when it's full, reading them all, which can be really quite lovely. You can maybe have a gratitude walk. If you walk in nature quite regularly, maybe choosing maybe one a week, where you just focus on all the things you feel grateful for. And when you sit down to eat your dinner, you might just take a few moments to consider how that meal has got to your plate and all the people involved to get it there. And when you look at it, it's really quite amazing. It said there could be 60 or 70 people involved in getting that one meal to your plate, from the people who've made the vehicles, the people who've stacked the shelves, the people who've grown the vegetables, etc., etc. So, yeah, really quite amazing. So when you're ready, take another deep breath in. And as you exhale, bring that right hand back down. Come back to your tabletop, and as ever, you might just sit back to child's. That might feel like the right place to go, or maybe a little bit of movement. As ever, it's mindful and slow and really kind to your body. And it can often be that we focus on pain, discomfort, or things that the body is no longer able to do, rather than focusing on lightness. You know, you may have woke up today and you don't have a stuffy nose, for example. You only notice when you have a stuffy nose and you think, oh, this is terrible. But actually, the majority of time, we don't. You know, so it's having that remembering of all the good stuff. You can wake up pain-free and not even notice. Um, so just, yeah, being with that and seeing where your habits might be. And then when you're ready, we're going to come down onto our belly for our Sphinx pose. So either elbows under the shoulders or the elbows further forward, and you might bring the hands into the temples to hold the head. This is my new favorite way of doing this. It lessens the back bend, which I quite like at times, so the belly sits a bit further down onto the earth. Just make sure that the chin is slightly tucked in towards the chest, so you're not creating any issues in the back of the neck if you do that one. If you prefer it a little bit deeper, then do have the elbows underneath the shoulders and have a little bit of pressure into the elbows. But see if you can let go of everything else, particularly feet and legs and pelvis. So Kim, you could just bring the elbows forward. So either the elbows and in towards the body. So draw, yeah, and maybe a little bit further forward as well. Yeah, depending on how that feels. So yeah, there, or bring the elbows even further forward if that feels too much for the lower back. So you're kind of maybe here or here, depending on how that feels. And Albert Einstein says there are only two ways to live your life: as though nothing is a miracle, or as though everything is a miracle. And really it is. It's all a miracle when you think about it. We just forget in our busyness, in all our doing and striving. And I often try to think in the same way as my little 5-year-old niece, because everything is such wonderful to her. You know, everything is just magical and new and different. So if we can bring in some of that quality that children possess, then we can open back up naturally to that gratitude and that appreciation of the world we live in. So perhaps let your awareness settle on the exhalation. The exhalation softening you, relaxing you a little. And then take another long deep breath. And as you exhale, release down. So you might bring one cheek On the mat, the arms beside the body, or you might make a pillow with the hands for the forehead. So see which feels right. But just try to let go and release for a few breaths. And if you feel like you need a bit of movement, you can maybe feel that in the lower back. Bring the feet into the air and move the feet side to side. That can be quite nice. Lovely. And then bring the hands back under the shoulders, gently moving back towards child's pose. You might kind of get to tabletop and think, oh, I just need a bit of movement there. Maybe those circles, or just moving side to side, or maybe you just sit back to child's pose. So sometimes being in a back bend, you're just doing the opposite, can just feel quite nice for the lower back. So see what would be right and just take your time. And then we're going to take our props. So you can use a bolster if you would like to, or a couple of pillows. So stack your pillows. Maybe there's a blanket on top. Make sure you've got a little bit of a step between each thing that you pop on top. So we're going to be here a little while. And then settle yourself in. So the pillows are really nice and close into the pelvis. And then you roll over. And if you're using a bolster, do make sure that it's okay for the lower back. So you might feel it's quite intense. We don't want it too intense. We don't want it too much of a back bend. So play around with it. You might need to lift your bolster. Sometimes I use a brick and bring that underneath the bolster, so then you've got more of an incline and it's less of a back bend for the lower back. So settle in and then allow the hands to be away from the body, palms up. So hopefully you've got this kind of broadening across the shoulders and this across the collarbones, across the upper chest. You might have the soles of the feet on the ground, knees touching, or you might have the soles of the feet together, or even the legs long. So it doesn't matter so much, but what's important here is the palms facing up. So take your time to settle in, and then take some longer, deeper breaths. And feel again that you're kind of having that breath into the chest, into the heart. And then just let the breath go, but keep a little bit of awareness with the breath. So you're just noticing the air flowing in, the air flowing out. Each breath, kind of feel that you're just coming home to yourself a little bit more. Perhaps feeling grateful for the way that the breath shows you the way home. And resting in the awareness that your body breathes on its own. And that intelligence of your body, the gentle miracle it performs each day, each moment. And then bring your awareness to the hands, to the palms of the hands, and just feel all of the sensations in the palms of the hands. Maybe there's like a warmth or a tingling or a vibration, fizzing. Just notice. And then bring your awareness to the right hand thumb and really feel into the right hand thumb. And in that right hand thumb, we'll just plant a little seed of gratitude here. So something that we just feel appreciative of at the moment. Maybe it's the breath. Maybe it's hot running water. Maybe it's the house over our head. Whatever it is, just plant it there. Whatever comes up, see that it just sits within the thumb. And then bring your awareness to the index finger on that right hand. Doing the same thing there, really feeling all of the sensations. And then considering something that you would like to plant there. It's almost like a little reminder of what you feel glad about in this moment. And then moving to the middle finger. Feeling and sensing the middle finger. And a little piece of gratitude there. And when you're ready to move on to the ring finger, feeling, sensing into the ring finger, planting a little seed of gratitude. The little finger on that right hand, noticing how it feels. And then planting that little seed. Just noticing that right hand, all the fingers and thumbs, and all that gratefulness. And then moving over to the left hand, particularly feeling the left hand thumb, planting a little seed of gratitude. When you're ready to move on to the index finger, just feel the index finger. Planting that little seed. Something else you feel just a little bit glad about. Whatever appears. And then onto the middle finger. Feeling and sensing. Planting your seed of gratitude. And then the ring finger. And then the little finger. And then sensing and feeling all of that left hand. All the fingers and thumbs. And all of that gratitude. And sensing and feeling both hands, all the fingers, the thumbs, and all the gratitude that you've planted there, that you've brought to mind. And when you next breathe in a little deeper and feel as if you're breathing from the fingertips all the way up through the arms, into the shoulders and into the chest. And as you exhale, it's almost as if that gratitude can move then through the rest of the body. Trying that a few times. Breathing as if breathing that gladness all the way into the heart. And the exhale just allows it to permeate down through the rest of the body, or maybe up into the head. So that gradually you feel as if the whole body is filled with this thankfulness, with this appreciation for all the little things perhaps in life, or maybe big things. All the things that just bring you happiness, bring you joy, remind you that there is good in the world and good in your life. Perhaps then feeling that you can just rest in that awareness, that sense of thankfulness. And then begin to deepen the breath. Maybe there's a little sigh out through the mouth. And then slowly bring movement into the fingers. And if the knees are wide, help the knees with the hands to come back in. Yeah, draw the knees in, or any way that makes sense to come back out. Maybe you roll off your props, or maybe you roll up. And when you do any movement that you need, then we will go into a supported child's pose. But take your time to get there. You might equally feel like you just want to go straight there, and that's fine as well. But any movement that you need, do take it. And you can either then have your bolster or your pillows in between the legs, and then rest belly and chest down. And just get a sense of that support for belly and chest. And that releasing of that back bend. You might allow palms to face upwards, elbows to bend, but allow yourself to settle. So maybe one cheek on your props. You can really settle in. So, Orla, we're just in supported child's pose if you missed that bit. Yeah, if you need anything between heels and sit bones, do take that. Or equally, some people need something underneath the feet to support the tops of the feet, the ankles. And then let your awareness just be with the breath here. So maybe you sense that rise and fall of the belly. And maybe you turn your attention to the rise and fall of the chest. And bringing the other cheek on your props, if you have one cheek down, just to ease out the other side of the neck. And then you could bring your awareness to the breath at the nostrils. And then you might be aware of the whole of the breath, the whole journey of the breath from the nostrils down to the chest and then to the belly, and then the belly all the way back up. The full journey of the breath, resting in that awareness of the breath. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, just being with the breath. And then taking some longer, deeper breaths. And then when you're ready, begin to roll back up. And as ever, you might feel that you just need to stretch and move. You might want to lengthen one leg and kind of press through the heel a little. Make sure the belly is drawing in, so you're not back bending. And then you could lengthen the other leg, or you could go into down dog if it feels okay and right for you. Or you could simply lie on your belly as well. You might just feel that you need that lengthening through the legs from the hips and the knees, or even just a little bit of movement. So feel into that. And then we're going to come to lie on our side, on our left side. Have one of your pillows for your head. Allow the shoulders to really release down. The hand is kind of out to the side, probably shoulder height. And see if you can stack the knees. And almost like you're just very, very nicely, very softly resting on your left side. And then you could reach that right hand out to stack on top of the left palm, so the palms are stacking. And then as you inhale, reach that right hand up to the top. And as you exhale, bring it over to the right, maybe down. See how that feels. So we're going to move through this a few times and then settle in. So as you inhale, come back, bring the palm back down onto the hand. Pause. And then another inhale to reach the hand up. And then exhale over to the right. So the right shoulder will begin to come over towards the right, but only to where is right. And then as you inhale, you can come back up. Bring the palm back down, stacking again, and just checking. So you might find that the knees are not stacking anymore. So if you can keep them stacked, this is useful. So see how you go. And then the next time that you inhale and come up and over, see if you can then rest into a place that makes sense for your body. So a twist, but it's quite a deep opening into the shoulder. If you don't have a massive amount of space, cactus arms works quite well. So elbow, that right elbow in line with the shoulder. If you can't reach the right hand right out to the side. So it's becoming a twist, but it's quite an open into the shoulder and the upper chest. See how that feels. The shoulder and the arm might even kind of just not hang there, but dangle and feel okay. So see what that is. So the right hand is going all the way over to the right. Yeah. And you might rest it on the ground. Just breathe into that right shoulder, that right side of the chest, collarbones. Using the exhalation to kind of really soften you down into the earth. And at the beginning, we just noticed who or what was there in our heart. So maybe family, friends, pets, experiences, things that we love in our lives, things that we feel are very dear to us. And that may have been an easy thing to imagine or to see. And can you now invite yourself into your heart as well? Maybe a few deep and welcoming breaths so that you can see yourself there in your heart. Breathing a sense of deep connection to you, a sense of gratitude for all that you are and all that you have created and provided in this world for the people who need you, who love you. You invite yourself in and be there in your heart space. And then when you're ready, take a long, deep breath so that you can begin to bring that right hand back over. You could stack the palms again on top of one another and just rest for a moment. Notice how it feels in that side. And then gradually come onto your back. And when you get to your back, you might just pause, soles of the feet on the mat. You might just draw the knees in and pause, or you might circle through the knees or move side to side. So feel into what would be right. And then when you feel ready to go on to the other side, coming onto your right side, making sure that the right shoulder is almost kind of slightly under the pillow so that it can really rest into the ground, and the head is supported as well. So make sure you're not holding the head. If you need two pillows or two cushions, then do that. But you're quite comfortable on your side there. Knees are stacking, and then you can reach the hands out, left palm on top of right palm. And then when you're ready to move with that, inhale to reach the left hand up. Exhale to bring it over. And see if you can keep the knees stacking, and do that a few times. So you're inhaling back up to the top. Exhale, the palm comes back down. Move with your breath. And as you come over and back, you might just sense that there's kind of like a real juicy bit in the shoulder that feels good and nice to stretch. So remember not to go into pain. And then just come back. And then when you feel ready to settle that shoulder down, that hand down, take your time to get there, but then that hand is releasing. And you might find that it kind of hovers in the air for a good few breaths until you kind of gradually release it down, and then maybe the shoulder might come a little bit closer to the earth. Cactus arm sometimes works for me, so elbow a bit more in line with the shoulder rather than the hand reaching out. But notice what works for you, and just play with that, remembering no tension, and just see if you can get to a place where you can pause and just gradually allow that opening across the front of the left side of the chest. So this gratitude that you've begun to cultivate and really notice, can you move it to your eyes and feel a little bit of thankfulness for your eyes? Thankful that they can see your loved ones, see the autumn colors, see the beautiful skies. And then a little bit of almost like a flow of gratitude moving from the eyes to the ears. Being able to hear laughter of friends and family, the song of birds, music. And then this gratitude moving from your ears to your lips, for all the kisses, the smiles, the yummy foods you eat, the ability to communicate. Having a kind of felt sense of gratitude for the richness of your sensate world. And then take another long, deep breath. Reach that hand back up over the top and just let the palms stack again. Let the knees stack. And just rest on your side for a few breaths, noticing how that feels. And then when you're ready, coming onto your back. And any movement that you need before you move into your Shavasana. So maybe circles, moving side to side, happy baby, anything that makes sense. And then when you're ready, gradually coming to rest. in your Shavasana. You can just come to lie on your back, maybe soles of the feet on the mat, or the legs long, or maybe something under the knees to support the lower back. Just check if the shoulders need to roll away from the head, chin slightly towards chest. Maybe the hands are on the belly or the heart, or maybe they're away from the body. Either way, just resting into that. And resting your awareness at your heart again. Breathing into this place of warmth and appreciation. This wisdom within your heart. Just opening up to receive any messages that might be there. And then beginning to deepen your breath. And when you feel ready, little movements into fingers and toes. Maybe have a big stretch. Draw the knees in. Slowly and gradually come back to sit. And you might keep the gaze soft or the eyes closed. Settling there. Being with your practice. And if this is resonating with you, you might set an intention to just continue this powerful work of gladdening your mind towards a sense of thankfulness. And as you move through your days, just kind of be curious about any ripple effects that you notice that it has on your life. Because I find that when we start to see the benefits, we want to go more, we want to go deeper into it, we want to make it part of our life. And it becomes easy rather than a chore. So just notice. And then bringing the hands to prayer at the heart center. So close with one Om. Take a deep breath in. Om. So thank you for your practice. Namaste.